Good morning, everyone. Today's message is hold on. Hold on. Sometimes we need to hold on. This message is born out of the reality that Caitlin is leaving on Thursday. She's going to be gone for a year or more, who knows? Right now it looks like a year. She's going to one of the most dangerous places on earth. That's the reality. The money is worthless. The president's a nut job. And she's going to teach English. Sounds like a perfect thought. So we think about this. The message hold on originally was intended for her to hold on, but it's also for me to hold on. It's also for all of us to hold on. Whatever we're facing in life, sometimes we just need to hold on. So what do you hold on to? Sometimes we hold on to the problem. Sometimes we hold on to negative thoughts. It's just a reality. But those who know the Lord, we have the ability at any moment to hold on to Him. Despite what's gone on up to this very moment, this is who He is. He says, "Nah, just hold on to me. Let go and just grab me right here, right now, and watch what happens." I mean, it's a word of encouragement for all of us. There's always times in life, we all have this journey. We're getting ready to go away for a couple of weeks, and it's important to do this. It's not really going to be much of a vacation. You're going to go and work on a house. Going to go be around some people who are dealing with some stuff who've been holding on for a while, and the big sister's coming home. When the big sister comes home, maybe she has the answers. I can talk to her, and she can help me through the problems, because that's what Debbie is. Debbie's the big sister. And there's always things. There's family who are facing trials and tribulation. There's people who have health concerns. And then we look around this room. Some of you probably laugh, but the others of us go, and some of us are getting older. I mean, we're getting older to the point like, what the heck, man? Sometimes we just got to hold on. So what would I tell Caitlin as she prepares to leave? I use this word, to a volatile place. Well, there's two things you can, maybe Turkey's calling. I'm not sure. I hear the phone ringing. No, he was already calling. He was calling in that song. So the question is, what do you do? What are your words for someone who's going somewhere dangerous? Violet's going to be dangerous. Going back to school. Here. Schools are crazy. There's nut jobs with guns and stuff. I mean, the reality is we got to always be on edge, always paying attention, even in our schools today. It seems crazy, but more and more, that's a reality. It's an absolute reality. Greg doesn't have so much to worry about. He goes to like really rich areas and takes care of things. Bob's probably got the most dangerous job of us all. He drives in LA traffic. So, I mean, we all have things. But so what would you do? Do you sit there and press, concern, do this, do that, do that? You can. It's not a bad idea. I got a better one, though. Words that would encourage. And Paul says it so well in the book of Philippians. It's Philippians 1, 3 through 6. I thank my God every time I remember you. In all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy. Because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. See, this is my desire, not just for Kate. This is my desire for all of you. Think about these words. These are really, really powerful words. He began a good work in you. If he began a good work in you, nothing is going to get in the way of stopping it. Nothing. Well, we have free will. We do have free will, but I'm telling you, if you desire things of the Lord, nothing will stop you from the completion that he has designed for you. No matter what's gone on, no matter what side road we've taken, no matter what part of our journey we're at right now, if we believe that he began a good work in our lives, he will finish it. I would say that to Caitlin as she's getting ready to go. I'd say that to all of us, but she's leaving, so I'm kind of pointing toward her a little bit today. He began a good work in you a long time ago. That's the word of encouragement. No matter where you go, no matter how volatile, no matter how scary it can be at a moment's notice, the shutdown, oh my gosh, everything's going fine, then all of a sudden something crazy happens. The highway traffic, the cars blowing up around you. No matter what is going on. The pool needing water, Greg, you just never know. No matter what's going on. No matter what. He began a good work in you. He will complete it. Let that encourage you. That should encourage all of us. Because life does get tough. Sometimes we need to hold on. See, this is a process. This is really a process. And the main process for me right now is I always pray with joy because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day till now. Always pray in joy. That's a hard thing to do, isn't it? I don't always do that. I'm supposed to be the spiritual leader, the pastor of the church. Praying always with joy. But when I realize that God began a good work in my life, and this is part of it, that I would pray with joy, I start to believe that. And it changes how things go on. You start to pray with joy, not out of compulsion, not out of why even pray, no one's even paying attention. No, you pray with joy. It's easy to pray for your kids with joy because you want the best. It's hard to pray for somebody who's offended you with joy. But it's really important. And it's really hard to pray for somebody who's taking advantage of you and pray with joy. Get him, God. See, that's not really joy. Don't worry, he'll get him. That's what he does. He gets all of us. But he gets us in a way that gets right to the crux and core of who we are. We all have unique needs, wants, and desires. Learning to pray always with joy. That's part of this journey we're on. I said it was, I think a week ago, it kept me up at night. There was a situation that came up. It kept me up. But you know what? I prayed with joy through that with tears. I was heartbroken, but it was a joyful prayer. And then there was instant answer, instant answer is cool, but instant answer just means we're on the journey. We're not fighting to get on the journey. We've gotten back on the journey, but it's still the journey. And praying in joy is just a wonderful thing. So he who began a good work in me, he who began a good work in you, he who began a good work in Caitlin, we'll do it. We'll do what he's doing. He who began a good work in Evander, even though he took a punch in the nose yesterday. Yeah, he's doing a good work. Just too cute, man. So, the desire in this journey we call life is to be reminded. Be reminded of this when you question things, that he's began a good work in that person too. Too often, we look at this, he began a good work in me, and it all becomes about me. But see, I realize he's began a good work in Christina as well. So if she says or does something that I find highly offensive, well, the next time she does it will be the first time. But still, realizing to see God has began a good work in her. As we can give each other a little bit of that grace that we all want, we realize this good work has begun in all of us. We're all on a different part of the journey. Verse 9 says, and this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best, may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Christ Jesus, to the glory and praise of God. See, your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight. Caitlin, why don't you come on up here? She has a story she wants to share on this journey. Give it just a second. Yeah, give it just a second. He's changing.
I'm his daughter, so I really don't need a microphone either. Sorry. Hello, everyone. You all know me because I'm related to like half of you in this room in some way, but I'm Caitlin. And as you all know, I am going to Turkey on I'm going to England on Thursday and then to Turkey. I want to reiterate that it is safer than it's being portrayed right now, so don't have to worry too much. But it's been quite a journey going through this process, especially waiting until literally almost the last second to get that work visa in my passport. I started this process back, I think, in January of this year. I applied for the job. Then I got the job after an interview, and I was very excited. I had a very emotional leaving of New York in my life. And one thing about me that was hard to do this is that I'm a person who needs like 17 contingency plans in place so that I know that everything will be okay regardless of what happens. And this was more of a leap of faith that I was going to be able to do this, especially after applying and realizing there was a possibility I wouldn't get the visa, which was it was a very hard thing to go through. Every week someone was asking me, did you get your visa? Did you get your visa? And I was like, no, I didn't get my visa, and I might not get my visa, and I can't be excited for Turkey because I don't know if I get to go. And I remember last week was a very emotional time in my life. You can ask my parents and Jordan. Saw a lot of it too. Just being very emotional and crying and just not knowing what's going to happen, not having a job, going through all the emotions of I'm not getting my dream, I'll never make money again, I'll have student loan debt till the day I die. It was kind of a spiral of anxieties that were piling on top of me. But the good thing is, as you all know, I did get the visa and it all worked out. And through this process, I learned that you do have to trust in God and have faith that things are going to work out even if you don't get what you want necessarily, because that doesn't mean that life is going to fall apart, but it's to be okay and to just go with the life spontaneous nature. I did end up getting what I wanted, but I had to really think about the fact that I might not get what I set out to get in this experience. And I want to share a Bible verse with you all that I found after the fact, so maybe I should have read it before. But hopefully you guys can look to it. It's 1 Peter 5:7, and it says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. And for me, that just means that, yeah, we're going to have emotions and we're going to worry and be anxious, but we don't have to hold on to it. We can give it to God and just allow what's going to happen and have faith that everything will work out, because it does. So, thank you.
You get a switch, huh, Abel? Another toy to get. All right, we're back. See, 3 days before D-Day, she had a meltdown. I mean, it was ridiculous meltdown. give her a little bit of a break. She's been getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to do some online teaching to make a little bit of money. Half the time the kids didn't show up. You know, it was just so, I mean, there was all this, you know, second thought going through her mind and not getting enough proper sleep. But she had a meltdown, and I just said, you know, Kate, that's not okay. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. She was looking at destruction and doom, and she still had 3 days. I said, you have until Friday at 5 o'clock. At Friday at 5 o'clock, the consulate is closed. They're closed this coming week. They're closed. You're leaving for England on Thursday. It's done. Okay? We'll all mourn Friday at 5 o'clock because it's over. Probably Friday at 3 because you'd still have the drive to LA. It's not going to happen. But until then, this is where our faith kicks in. God, I'm believing that you're going to open this door. I'm believing not only are you going to open this door, but everything's going to be okay. See, there's another part to this story. This is the part to this story that affects me. See, I've been wanting Caitlin to come home for 5 years while she lived in New York City. Talk about a dangerous place to live. Turkey's dangerous, but is there anything more dangerous than New York City? Well, south side of Chicago. The part of Chicago you wouldn't go to anyhow. That's the south side in the gang area. It's gangs killing gangs. I mean, that'd be like going to Watts. I mean, there's certain areas we just don't go to. But for 5 years, she lived in Harlem. For 5 years, I've been wanting her to come home. Thinking, all right, Lord, is this what you're doing? Are you using Turkey to get Caitlin home? 3 days to go, man. This is all right. But she has this meltdown. And I talked to her about now faith. And all of a sudden, my faith kicked in, but it kicked into a different level. I knew she was going to get this. And I wasn't happy. See, I've been believing that Caitlin's moving back and going to live around. Jordan has moved back, at least for this season. Hopefully he'll stay, but he's a young man, and young men are very unpredictable. Young women are more predictable, but young men are less predictable. Rebecca has moved back a couple years ago. She's local, close by. So Caitlin is going to move back. This is cool. 3 days to go. 3 days to go, and she'll be here. But I just knew that she was going to get the phone call. 4 o'clock that day, I'm on the golf course with Bob. My phone rings. I look, it's Caitlin. And I go, she got it. I answer the phone. Hey, Kate. Hey, Dad, guess what? Yeah, I knew it. See, so here you go. Her desire is to go and do this. My desire is for her to. How can God answer every prayer? How can he answer every prayer? But see, then it dawned on me. I realized. See, my prayer is that my love would abound more and more as I get more knowledge and depth of insight. And here's the depth of insight. The desire of my heart has always been for her to have what she wants. I got in the way because my desire was for her to be back home. We could have big family parties and do all this stuff, right? But see, that's not really the desire of my heart. The desire of my heart is that she can experience everything God has for her. That she can live a full life. And she can do this traveling and teaching and experiences. See, too often we think God doesn't answer our prayers. But he does. Think about it. Next time something doesn't quite go your way, think about deep down, what is that desire that he put in your heart? Not the physical or temporary desire, but what's the desire in your heart? My desire is for all my kids to succeed tremendously and greatly, to have a good partner, to raise a family, to love and be loved. That's my desire. That's it. There's nothing more important than that. There's these peripheral things that are fun. I love seeing all you guys here today, especially because if you weren't here, there'd be nobody else. No, that's not why. I'm just glad that you're here. It's fun to see family, the kids growing up. They're wonderful children. in all of this. See, that's the real desire. So when you think you're not getting the desire of your heart, realize being able to discern what is best and pure and blameless. Realize the depth of knowledge that God has for you as you spend time with Him. It's one thing to listen to a preacher or a radio personality or read a blogger or what have you. That's fine. And that's good. That can encourage you, maybe push you to a certain direction. The depth of insight comes from spending time one-on-one with God, period. Period. How can I say that? Well, last time you were here, what did I talk about? See? You don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember what I talked about last week. It's for a moment in time to trigger the desire for you to spend time with God. Because these are just temporary moments in time, words of encouragement to maybe get through something that you're suffering from. But the desire is to draw you to the place where you'll spend time. You'll receive more and more knowledge and depth of insight. See, because when that happens, we will be filled with the fruit of righteousness, which is His righteousness, not what you do. It's what He does for God's glory. Whatever goes on that creates fruit is for God's glory. When you do something and you don't see anything, don't worry about it, because you're righteous by God's standard. It's creating fruit that you don't understand, and the fruit that it's creating is for God's glory. Man, we love it when somebody passes on the back. Oh, Pastor, you got somebody saved. Oh, that's great. You walk around going, I feel pretty good. Yeah, feeling pretty good, doing my job. No, you're not. You're taking God's glory. It's a hard place, man. It's a hard thing to understand that we can go through life seemingly failing at what we're doing. Yet when we focus on the Lord and He gives us direction in our life, that's for His glory. You know, Caitlin's getting ready to head over to a place where there's not going to be a whole lot of Christian teaching, except for Thursdays and Sundays when she's watching her dad online. Videotape. That's right. So, because I'll be sending questions to her to see if she's paying attention. The country's like 99% Muslim. It's a Muslim nation. But there's a whole lot that can be going on for God's glory in her life. Her just living her life with her value set, loving people where they're at. Not trying to convert them, not trying to proselytize them. One, she wouldn't be good at that. That's not what she's called to do. And two, that can get you arrested. I mean, it's not a smart thing to do in a Muslim nation. I have one final thought as a dad says goodbye to his daughter. Wow, beating up your child. These are words of life that I impart to her and to all of you. Hear them, live them, receive them. Hear these words of life. These are words you've heard before from the book of John, the 15th chapter. But if I really believe if it's the last thing you're ever going to hear, this is what you want to hear and walk away with. This is Jesus talking. I am the vine. You are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire and burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish. It will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. See, He is the vine. He is the lifeblood. We are the branches. We are attached to Christ. If we remain in him, fruit will happen. We don't know when. We don't know where. We don't know how. But it will happen. It will happen if we remain in him. Wow, did he get punched again? I mean, what's going on there? You smack his nose? Well, he can be out here. It's all right. All right. Anyway. Wow. Come on, Grandma. Let's see if you can do a little bit better job. So being a branch is not attached, is dead. That's what this says. A dead branch is good for nothing. A branch, not even firewood, it's just kindling. A branch that is connected is full of life. See, Christ gives us life. Now, does that mean we need to go out and beat people over the head? That's not what it says. See, that's not being a branch. That's being a stump. That's trying to be the vine. That's trying to be in charge. Being a branch is merely being connected to the Lord. As you go through life, as you go through the day, you talk to him. Some people talk to him a lot. Some people talk to him a little. I think it's really important that we talk every day to him. I really do. I think it's really important that we include God into our life. He has given us life. And what happens is, all of a sudden, fruit happens. We become a better mom and dad. We become better brothers and sisters, workers. We become better fitted for society. I just finished up a sociology class, and the word that hangs with me is deviant behavior. I mean, it's a great word. It's a really nasty thing, but that's what happens when you're not attached to the vine. This deviant behavior starts to happen. We get drawn farther and farther away. We're good people, have desire to do good things, but when we don't connect to the creator of the universe, especially when we are aware of who he is, we are drawn a little bit further and further away from the life source. And we kind of become kindling. We kind of become dead, and we kind of just don't even really care anymore. We just are going through muddling through life, not making a difference. Just kind of sucking up space. But man, God has so much for us. And it's so simple. Merely communing with God. Just talking to him. Watch what he does. It's incredible. It's the most incredible thing ever when you sit and spend time with God. College. Those who are in college. It's a great time to talk to God. Lord, I need help. Can you give me a thought about what to write? And all of a sudden you're going, that's 3 pages. I'm almost done with this essay. Set it down, walk away from it, let him talk to you some more, and come back and reread what you wrote and punch up the places. It's something I started doing with my schooling, and it makes it a lot easier than just sitting there laboring, trying to make things clever that really don't matter, except for that moment in time. God gets glory when you bring him in. When you go to deliver this beautiful baby girl, number 2. Lord, help me. Help me, Jesus. Help me. Help me. It'll be amazing. Does that mean the pain is going to go away? No. What it means is that when you bring him into it, there'll be a surreal experience. I can only imagine what it's like having a kid anyhow. But a really surreal experience. When God is there, part of what you're doing, it's really what he desires. See, he's our lifeblood, and we're just merely attached to him. Bearing much fruit, showing yourself to be a disciple. What kind of disciple are we? Well, today I want to pray for Caitlin. So, Kate, why don't you come up? Before she goes, I want all of us to be able to pray for her, especially Evander. He's so happy. But pray for Caitlin for provision, protection, direction, but most importantly, that she would remain attached. Remaining attached, spending a little bit of time in his word, spending time talking to God, spending time seeing what he's doing in our immediate surrounding, how we can help mankind in a practical, logical way. Showing the love of Christ. Jesus didn't go around preaching all the time. You realize that? really didn't. He did not preach all the time. He often spoke so nobody could understand him. Kind of like what I do. Speak so nobody can really understand me. But you know what he did everywhere he went? He drew you to God. His presence drew you to God. That's what life is about. Communing with the Father. Allowing Him to give us purpose and direction. So let's come forward. Let's get the little ones. See you, world.